So this sermon illustration involves an animal, a horse, and it can be used whenever you're talking about animals in the Bible, like Balaam's donkey that spoke, or the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, or even when Jesus returns, he's riding on a white horse. Wilhelm von Osten and Clever Hans. Now, Van Osten, who's featured here in the picture, was a mathematics teacher and an amateur horse trainer. I also believe he had some mystic abilities as well that may enter into this story. But he claimed to the world that his horse was versed in mathematics, and he would give the horse a problem to solve, like 2 + 2, and the horse would tap it out with his hoof on the ground, the answer to the question. He traveled throughout Berlin and some parts of Europe, I believe, giving demonstrations of the cleverness of the horse with mathematical abilities. Of course, this was doubted by the scientific community who wanted to test it. So they formed what was called the Hans Commission, and 4 or 5 people wanted to test the horse in front of the commission. The horse did extremely well at first when the trainer Wilhelm von Osten was present, but the further away the trainer was from the horse, the less the excellent results. And it soon became clear that what was happening was that the horse was picking up on some of the subtle clues of the trainer. And that's when the horse knew to stop. Now this is called today in psychology the Clever Hans effect, because the horse was actually watching for the clues from the trainer as to when to stop. So when Hans was isolated away from the trainer, the results were not good at all. Now some have even said that the horse has picked up on clues from the crowd, that it knew when to stop just by the either verbal or nonverbal of the crowd. But mostly it was probably from the trainer himself, that the horse was able to read the clue, the subtle clue, whether it was lack of eye contact or some type of expression on his face or some movement of the body. The horse knew when to stop. Hence, Hans was named a clever genius for a horse. And in many ways, it is true, the horse was a genius because it could pick up on the clues around it and very subtly be able to determine the correct answer to questions in the field of mathematics. So this was popular, I believe, shortly after the turn of the century, from the 1800s into the 1900s, from about 1904 to 1907. Now the reason that they were so interested in this was because, remember, Darwin had just brought out his Origin of the Species not too long ago, prior to this, and it was having an effect everywhere. And so the idea of human beings evolving from animals was prevalent, and Hans, in a way, maybe was some type of proof that this indeed was occurring. So you can see more. By the way, there was an article in the New York Times in 1904 on this. You can watch a real good video on this. Just type in Hans the Clever Horse and some of those really good videos will pop up. My video is just simply to point you to it. There it's referring to the Hans Commission. They actually had a commission appointed to investigate this. And their conclusion was there were no tricks, but they didn't realize that it was the subtle nonverbal clues that were arising from the trainer and possibly even too from the spectators. So anytime you want to talk about animals in the Bible, this is a good illustration to use, especially if you want to talk about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse or Jesus riding in the end of this age on the white horse. Maybe the white horse's name is Hans. So I'd like to thank you for watching this. This concludes the video on Hans the Clever Horse.